Our wedding shocked Manila. If it happened today, I'm sure kumalat na yan sa social media. The first time he saw me was when I was presented as the brand model for his company. At that moment, I think he fell in love with me. It was the 80s. I was in my early 20s with a rising career as model and actress, and Cesar was in his 40s, already highly accomplished. So we were eventually introduced. I found him to be very warm, respectful, gracious, a true gentleman of the old school. Ang tawag ko sa kanya, Mr. Concho. We became friends, so I wasn't really surprised when he invited me to join him and his friends to tour Europe after the screening of my film Kiss of Mata, the Cannes Film Festival. Well, I said yes. I also needed a break at saka magkakaibigan naman kami. I felt safe, not knowing that he was really going to Europe pala to propose to the girl he was in love with. Oh. But the odds were against him. I was half his age. He was separated with children. Our first stop, St. Peter's Basilica. I asked God to bless me with a good husband. I didn't have the tiniest idea that it was going to be the man standing beside me. On tour, Cesar was a revelation. OMG, he knew everything. He knew the history of every place we visited. He knew the story behind every masterpiece that we saw. Sobra akong namangha sa kanyang kaalaman. I had a teacher in him. I was in awe. Hindi ko makakalimutan yung sinabi niya sa akin about Michelangelo. The great artist said, "Every block of stone has a sculpture inside. The task of the sculptor is to discover it." Napaisip ako doon. Are there areas in my life that have blocks and not possibilities? I was grateful to discover the good person that is behind that shiny block in the person that I know as Mr. Concho. And as we explored Rome, I began to feel drawn to him and to what he knew. And in time, Cesar's statue began to emerge. We got to know each other better on the long train ride to Paris. And I must have been too naive to think that he was attracted to me. Hindi naman siya nanliligaw. Hindi naman ako presumido. Gosh, he hasn't even said anything remotely romantic. Until our first dinner. He has been separated, so I asked him if he was thinking of marrying again. And he said, yes. In fact, I was thinking of marrying you. What? Back in Manila, we went on to our separate lives. He kept away. I thought that was it. But I began to miss him. I discovered in him deep, profound goodness. I was drawn to his inner being. I felt whole. I felt complete. I was falling in love with him. The statue of Cesar had emerged. After 4 weeks, Cesar finally broke his silence and invited to lunch, and we felt good to be together again. Next time, we met for dinner, and he simply asked, "So when do you want to get married?" I answered, "Autumn would be a good time." 4 months later, we found ourselves leisurely driving along the coastline of Pebble Beach, and I remember thinking how blessed I was to know happiness like this. But news of our wedding shocked Manila society, and many disapproved. But I took my lead in Cesar, who anchored himself on an inner sense of truth, the honest love we had for each other. If you go by dogma, fail. If you go by what is accepted by society, fail. So ano na lang ang truth namin? Love, diba? On the first morning after our wedding, Cesar told me, Charo, before you are a wife and a mother, you are a person with your own dreams, your own life plans. Pursue your dreams. And from that moment, I knew we would have a life together. With a lot of struggles like any other marriage, but far from finding fault in each other, we will be finding each other's strengths. He taught me how to soar, how to choose my battles, to pull back, how to gain perspective, discern deeper and move forward. After all, that was how he pursued me. We raised 2 sons together. I had my own demanding career. And now we share the happiness of being a fun lolo and lola. At the center of our bond is a sense of common destiny. And I have the courage to face the many more years ahead because Cesar taught me how to find the statue inside me. And I would like to tell Cesar he is my guide, my biggest fan, my greatest love, my lifetime partner.